Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of STVCastle Chess. This is another commentary that I'm going to provide here for the game of chess. And for this one, this is going to be more of a special game, an anonymous game, as you're seeing here with this screen. It has question mark versus question mark. So basically what you're seeing there is just that two players that won't be named are playing against each other. So this game features the opening, the rat defense. So let's just get right to it. D4, F5, E4, D6, Knight C3, Knight F6, Bishop to D3. Now let's stop this right here and just I'm wanting to describe to you guys how the rat defense comes to be, because this is how the basic setup is when you load up on pieces like the knight and the bishop, for example. The bishop purposely moved there to d3 to cover this pawn to give it extra protection. That is basically part of the setup for the rat defense. So in response, f takes e4, knight takes the pawn on e4. Now with black has the option of capturing back the knight with the knight, but in this game black chooses not to do that. And the move in response instead was d5. And when you go over this game, when you review this game for yourselves, guys, and I will provide the link to this game in the description box below so you guys can follow along, you will notice right away that d5 was one of the main moves that did not play into black's best interests, so to speak. Um, Again, when you play this back, you'll realize that d5 just was not the right move at all for black to make. And even after this game unfolds, I will explain to you guys why this was the case. But yes, this was not a good move for black. d5 was played, though. White retreats the knight back to g3. e6, black responds with. To White's credit, White makes the good move of getting the other bishop out, bishop g5, putting pressure on the knight to pin it. And black quickly notices this and unpins the knight by covering it with their own bishop, bishop d7, bishop takes knight f6, bishop takes bishop f6. Okay, so there's a clearly there's an attack on the d4 pawn here. White chooses to be aggressive, however, with queen h5 check. Now, normally, when you're playing the game of chess, normally it's not recommended to get the queen out so early like this in an attacking mode. But considering the position that black has played itself into here, you notice here with the weak foundation. I'm highlighting all of these pieces for a reason. There's a weak foundation in this corner, and that's exactly why white made this move to begin with, because white sensed the weakness here with this corner. So queen h5 check. In this case, it is wise to do that. And I will go ahead and make that sort of a little tip for you guys, is that when you see a broken down foundation like this, at least a weakened foundation, it's wise to become aggressive, such as what white did here with queen h5 check. g6 to block. Now, it was the correct move to make for black to do that. However, white chooses to be aggressive again. Bishop sacrifice. Bishop takes pawn on g6 check. H pawn takes bishop on g6. Now white instead chooses this. Queen takes pawn g6 check. Another diagonal check. King moves to f8. Knight f3. White wisely clears out all space for the king to move. giving the king both options for castling, either kingside or queenside. Good move there. Rook to g8. Black is trying to drive the queen away. Queen simply goes back to h6 check. Black tries to block with the bishop, bishop g7. Queen goes back to f4 check. Now black brings its queen out to f6, queen f6 to block. White ignores that and captures the pawn on c7. Knight a6. Now black, my thinking here is that black just wanted to put pressure on the white queen, just wanted to attack the white queen. And that's exactly what happened here, trying to put pressure on the white queen. It is a rule of thumb to consider that you should not be moving your queen so much in such an aggressive fashion. So it's not like it was totally a bad move by black to do this, but as you'll see here in a few minutes, queen goes back to d6 check. King goes forward, king f7. White decides the queenside castle. Now black, needing to do something to put pressure on white, goes bishop h6 check. And simply put, king b1 as the response, because the king has to move somewhere. Black's next move is rook d8. Once again, trying to put pressure on the white queen, which in theory is not bad to do. However, you got to follow up with that after you start doing that. Knight to e5 check. This is another bold move made by white in this game that, again, when you go back and review this game for yourselves, guys, you will know why white needed to make this move at this particular time with the knight e5 check. Because it's one thing to get your queen involved in the attack, but you got to get other pieces involved as well. That's another rule of thumb, a tip I can provide for you guys right now, is that you got to have more than one piece involved in an attack. If you're going to go after the king like this, you have got to have more than one piece ready for the attack. You can't just keep using one piece. That's basically my tip. So in response, king goes to g8. Queen goes all the way back to a3. There's a purpose for that. Black, my best guess as to what black was thinking here was that black was just trying to make something happen. Clearly, white had the position advantage here with the pawn and the knight in the center of the board. Not much activity going on for black. Black's light square bishop, by the way, is just not active at all. So basically, position-wise, white was clearly better. So I think black sensed that, and it was just trying to do something, but it just wasn't the right call what this next move was by black. Queen captures the pawn. Queen takes pawn on f2. Yes, you gain material, but you don't gain anything else from it, basically speaking. Rook h to f1. Basically telling black, hey, you can take this pawn here on g2 if you want, but it's not going to do you much good. Black, in response, has to move the queen somewhere. Queen to e3. Queen to e7. White decides to be aggressive again with the queen. Queen to g5. Trying to offer a queen exchange, but white just doesn't budge here. Queen to f7 check. There's an obvious connection here between between the queen and the knight. Very well coordinated here with this attack by white for both the queen and the knight. You can see that here on the board. Queen to f7 check. The king has to move again. King h8. And then the last move of the game officially here would be knight g6 check. And here's the thing I'm going to say right now when you're looking at this position. Black has no other move. Black has no other move to make but to sacrifice its queen. That's the only way you can keep the game going if you're black. So knowing that, and I believe black knew this a few moves before this, knowing that, black decided to resign. That was the end of this game. and that is the rat defense. Now, defense, the rat defense in games, it's not common in the game of chess. It's not particularly a popular defense to use. However, especially if you know how to use the rat defense, it can be advantageous if you know how to use it. Uh, but yeah, this is an example of, you know, it's basically an example of what not to do when it comes to playing something like the rat defense. Clearly, black did not have the right combination here. And as for white, shout out to white because white had the right game plan. White had the right attack combination going here with the queen and the knight. And positionally, when you're talking about position play in the game of chess, white had the clear advantage here. There's no doubt about it. Better piece coordination between all these pieces white was using. So yeah, by all means, guys, please feel free to review this game for yourselves. And if you'd like to, please provide comments in the comment section below as to what you would do if you were white or if you were black in this game. What what would be some specific moves that you would play if you were white or if you were black in this game? So this is a fun little game that I wanted to share with you guys. And yeah, this game teaches me that not every game that you're going to play is going to turn out exactly the way that you think. And in some cases, you'll win these kinds of games, but of course, in other cases, you're just not. You're going to lose these kinds of games. And that's part of what chess is about as a game. It's a learning experience. You have to learn how to handle a loss as much as how to handle a win, or in other cases, a draw. But anyway, that's the game that I wanted to share with you guys, the rat defense. And so, yeah, let me know what you guys think of this game. I'll be coming back with more chess related content uh, pretty soon here. I'm definitely going to get another game out here to show you guys here later this month. So please, by all means, give this a like if you love playing the game of chess or you know somebody who does and you want to share this video content with them. Feel free to share it with them. Please give this a like. If you're new to this channel, STV Castle, uh, please follow me, give me a subscribe, click the notification bell, and all that. And I'll be sure to come back with more chess-related content soon. This is STV Castle Chess. Stephen Vitt signing out. Take care, guys.